Today, I thought I would do something a little bit differently and take a little bit of time off from all the GPU news and theories and all that stuff, and let's actually benchmark a GPU. So Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Warzone 2.0 finally came out. Man, that's a mouthful, right? And I figured we would take my 3080 and see how well it performs against Warzone 2.0. Now, I'm gonna do this a little bit differently, and you have to let me know in the comment section down below how you feel about this. Now, normally what I would do is pick a resolution and pick all the presets under that resolution, like 4K high, 4K medium, and so on. And then I would just move on to the next resolution. But today we're switching things around just a little bit, and you'll have to let me know how you feel about it in the comment section down below. I'm gonna start with presets and do the actual resolutions under the preset. So an example would be, we'll start at extreme and we'll talk about the 4K numbers, the 1440, the 1080, and then we'll move on to balance. Now today we're only covering the extreme preset, the balance preset, and the minimum preset. And the reason why is because this is a good range of all the different presets available. You can see in the worst case scenario how the hardware performs, and then you can see the middle of the road results, and of course you can see the bottom of the barrel, right? So if you turn everything all the way down, how far can you max this out? Now it is important to note exactly what I've changed after I've enabled the preset. So I have turned off HDR, VSync in the game, VSync in the menus, and any kind of upscaling whatsoever. There is absolutely no upscaling of any kind turned on for these benchmarks. And lastly, of course, I did disable motion blur, so just be sure to keep all these settings in mind while you're looking at the numbers. Now, I'm showing my hardware on the screen right now, and the main thing you need to know is that I'm using the Nvidia RTX 3080 10GB model and the AMD Ryzen 5800X 3D, and all of my components are in a custom liquid cooling loop. And lastly, this video only covers Warzone Battle Royale. It does not include the brand new DMZ mode. If you want to see that DMZ mode, be sure to drop a comment down below and I'll be sure to make that video happen. Now, without any further ado, let's see how the 3080 performs in Warzone 2.0. Okay, starting things off at the extreme preset at 4K, we have an average frame rate of 70 FPS with a 1% low of 41 FPS. And at 1440p, the average frame rate is 112 FPS with a 1% low of 64 FPS. And finally, at 1080p with the extreme preset, we have an average frame rate of 142 FPS with 1% lows of 42 FPS. Switching over to the balance preset at 4K, we have an average frame rate of 90 FPS with a 1% low of 55 FPS. At 1440p, we have an average frame rate of 130 FPS with a 1% low of 71 FPS. And finally, at 1080p on the balance preset, we have an average frame rate of 167 FPS with a 1% low of 88 FPS. And finally, on the minimum preset at 4K, the average frame rate is 168 FPS with a 1% low of 95 FPS. At 1440p, the average frame rate is 204 FPS with a 1% low of 112 FPS. And lastly, at 1080p on the minimum preset, the average frame rate is 224 FPS with a 1% low of 113 FPS. Well, that's it for the benchmarks. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think about Warzone 2.0 with a combination of the 3080 and the 5800X 3D. Now, I can honestly say while I was playing the game, it mostly felt fine at all these different settings. The only place I had a little bit of an issue was at 4K Extreme. Even though the average frame rate was 70 FPS, it didn't feel smooth to me. And maybe that was because of shaders compiling in the background or something like that. I'm not entirely sure, but every other preset felt buttery smooth. So all in all, I think you're gonna have a good experience with this. That's all I got for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like button because it goes a long way in helping me out. And if you're new, please consider getting subscribed for more content like this. And if you want to see DMZ or any other settings tested with this game, drop a comment. It's incredibly important that you let me know in the comment section down below. Well, that's it. And until next time, E-Rock out.